You're probably going to yawn before this video ends. Not because you're tired, not because you're bored, just because I said the word yawn. In fact, some of you may already be fighting the urge. But here's the strange part. Scientists have been trying to explain this for centuries. And even today, they still can't fully agree why it happens. The deeper they looked, the stranger the mystery became. For decades, scientists thought the case was closed. The explanation seemed almost too obvious. Yawning must give the brain more oxygen. After all, a yawn is basically one huge breath. It sounded so convincing that almost nobody questioned it. Until one psychologist asked a dangerous question. What if we've been wrong this whole time? His name was Robert Provine. Instead of arguing, he designed an experiment. Imagine walking into the lab. One group breathes almost pure oxygen. Another breathes air loaded with extra carbon dioxide. If the oxygen theory is true, this experiment should settle the debate forever. The scientists wait. They watch. They count every yawn. And then, nothing. The oxygen changes. The carbon dioxide changes. But the yawning barely changes at all. One of biology's oldest explanations had just collapsed. So if yawning isn't about oxygen, why has evolution kept it for millions of years? The answer may have been hiding somewhere completely different. Temperature. At first, that idea sounded ridiculous. Why would opening your mouth cool your brain? Then neuroscientist Andrew Gallup started noticing a pattern. People seemed to yawn more under conditions where the brain was likely getting warmer. Interesting. But was it just a coincidence? Researchers decided to find out. This time, the experiment was surprisingly simple. Volunteers placed cold packs against their foreheads. Others didn't. If temperature had nothing to do with yawning, nothing should happen. Instead, the people with cold foreheads yawned far less often. Suddenly, yawning didn't look like a breathing problem anymore. It looked like cooling. Think of your brain as a car engine. Every second, it burns energy, and every engine creates heat. Too much heat. Performance drops. A yawn stretches the jaw, changes blood flow around your skull, pulls cooler air into your airways. Each effect is tiny, but together, they might cool the brain just enough to keep it running efficiently. It sounds almost unbelievable, but then another mystery appeared. Imagine driving home at 2 in the morning. The road is empty. Nothing moves. You've been staring straight ahead for 20 minutes. Your eyelids get heavier. Then, you yawn. That seems normal. Except, people also yawn just after waking up, when they should already be rested. So maybe yawning isn't about sleep. Maybe it's about attention. Researchers now think yawning may briefly help your brain switch back into a more alert state. Almost like rebooting a computer that's starting to slow down. It's a fascinating idea, but it still doesn't explain the weirdest part. Because sometimes, you don't decide to yawn. Someone else does. Try remembering the last time someone yawned in front of you. Did you copy them? Most people do, even if they aren't tired, even if they weren't thinking about yawning at all. And if you've made it this far, there's a good chance you've already yawned during this video. Scientists call this contagious yawning. For years, the leading explanation was empathy. The closer you feel to someone, the more likely you are to copy their yawn. Simple. Except, science refused to stay simple. Some studies supported the idea. Others couldn't reproduce it. Once again, researchers found themselves back at the beginning. Today, many believe contagious yawning is probably caused by several brain systems working together. Attention, automatic mimicry, social communication, maybe even something we still haven't discovered. But then scientists noticed something they never expected. Dogs did something extraordinary. Researchers discovered that many dogs don't just yawn. They catch yawns from humans, especially from their owners. Think about that. Two completely different species, sharing the same strange reflex. Why? One idea is that contagious yawning helps groups synchronize their attention. If one member suddenly becomes more alert, the rest may quickly follow. It's only a hypothesis, but it's one of the most fascinating ideas scientists have today. And after all these years, the mystery still isn't solved. Here's what we actually know. The oxygen theory has largely been abandoned. The brain cooling hypothesis has some of the strongest evidence so far. Yawning may also help regulate alertness. And contagious yawning seems to involve complex social processes. But none of these explanations answers every question. which means something you do around 20 times every single day, is still one of biology's greatest unsolved mysteries. So, the next time someone yawns, pay attention, because before you even realize what's happening, your brain might decide to copy them. And if it does, you'll have just experienced one of science's strangest mysteries firsthand. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden science behind everyday life, consider subscribing. Stay curious. See you in the next one.